All right, buddy. So, what's your name and where are you from?
Well, my name is Benjamin. I'm from Massachusetts, but this story happened all over the top of the United States, all over the north part.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy has a very unique story coming y'all's way. I'm not gonna. He just lightly gave me a brief little tap into, in
That's right. Yeah.
in the messages. I said, let's run it. I said, let's do it. And but there is lockup involved, to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. So prepare yourselves, probably for a very entertaining story. Where did it begin, man? What the hell made you start taking the routes that you might, started taking?
Okay, so you just heard I went to college. I was a college boy, and right before that, I was a punk rocker. I was playing in bands and hanging out with punk rockers and drinking all the time. And when I was away at college, all these people, they were touring with their bands. That kind of made me a little jealous. I was never able to go out there with them. So when I finished college, I decided to just start hopping freight trains, like a lot of people in my sort of circle
Yeah,
kind of, they talked about it, but nobody ever really did it, and I just decided to do it.
you
So
decided to
that's what I did.
live that lifestyle.
Yeah, I had nothing. I had nothing to do.
But
I was
fresh out
finished
of
with college.
college,
Yeah, man.
I mean,
Well,
did you graduate and get all that stuff?
yes, sir. But this was like the 2008, but like the crisis where you just couldn't get a job and
Uh
everything.
huh.
It was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
It was, yeah. So it was wild. This was 2010 ish. So I went down to New Orleans,
Well,
and then I
hey, I
hopped.
hate to stop. I hate to stop. I hate to stop you, man. What'd you
Of
major in?
course.
What'd you major in?
Oh, well, I was an art major. I was a theater major. I came out as a carpenter, so I did pick up a trade, and that's one of the reasons why I went down to New Orleans, because of Katrina.
Uh huh.
They had all them houses that need to be fixed. So I got into freight train hopping, just trying to get down to New Orleans.
Okay.
That's how it went. One time, I went from Worcester, where I'm from in Massachusetts, and I decided to go out to California and do some weed trimming. All right, this is a little bit different of an adventure.
But how?
And yeah, ask a
Hold
question. Go for
on.
it.
Okay, yeah, I gotta ask questions, man. I know my audience hates it when I interrupt, but
No, that's fine.
there's questions I just gotta have
And
answered
we're just
before.
starting. We're
Yeah,
just
before we
starting.
move forward, I gotta ask these questions. Okay. First off, how was your very first time jumping on a train? Were you following someone? Were you following suit a little bit, or were you alone? How was it? How was the first train
Okay,
jump?
so that's a
How did
great
it? How did it go?
that's a great question. So a lot of people get shown, like they basically find somebody who knows how to do it. I just went and did it. There's a lot of trains running around in my town. They all move pretty slow, and I just figured out which one to go on, which one was leaving basically New England, the area, because uh, in New England and in the Northeast, north of New York City, the trains kind of run like a spider web.
Yeah.
They go in all different directions. But once you get south of that, it's just a grid. You're
Mm-hmm.
either going east and west, or you're going north and
North
south.
south. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like it does stop, but you know where you're going.
Yeah.
So if I'm getting on an eastbound or if I'm getting on a westbound train, I'm going all the way west,
Well, I'm
right?
thinking like, because I got trains all over here, Norfolk, Portsmouth, stuff like that, and I see trains.
Going up and
So
down. That's
yeah,
right.
so I'm thinking to myself like, if I'm a train jumper, okay, if
Mhm.
I'm doing that life, I'm trying to find me the right caboose, right?
Oh well, that's a whole thing called a crew change. A crew change is a
I mean,
sort of a coded.
didn't you have to look for a particular thing that you could like sleep in type?
Most people, if you do it the right way, you download or you find this copy of a crew change, which is sort of a coded book. And that coded book, once you learn how to read it, tells you each train, where it's going, when it's going,
Oh
what yards it's
shit!
going to stop at. And don't forget, the train hopping is over 100 years old.
Oh
People
yeah,
have been
yeah,
doing it
yeah,
since
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Depression.
yeah, yeah.
So there's old hobos that just like hang out in their house now or in their trailer or something, and they just like download crew changes, and they're really into train hopping, but they don't necessarily do it anymore. This is a whole culture. A lot of places where you catch a train is called a hop out spot, or
Uh
at least
huh.
where you wait for the train. It's called a hop out spot, and a lot of them have hobo markings on them that tells you they're also coded, but those are easy to look up on the internet.
What do you mean by
They
that?
tell you like
What do you mean
they're
by?
coded. Yeah, they tell you like if there's a house nearby that's cool,
Oh
or if there's
shit.
danger, or if cops come through this particular hop out spot a lot. These codes are over 100 years old. Some of them, you know.
This is like some video game stuff, man.
Dude, this is some crazy ass deep shit.
This is
Yeah.
fucking awesome. I'm really enjoying this. What's like a symbol that the cops are near? What would that be? Like, can you expose
Well,
that a
they
bit?
call so train yard bulls are like security guard usually, and they're the kinds that'll kick your ass, you know, because this is like an old school thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've been in places where it's good luck to see a train hopper, and I happen to be that train hopper, so that was like, whew. But other times, yeah, they're looking for trouble. It really depends on where you are in the country, kind of, and who sees you. All right, so one time I'm going to California from Worcester, from Massachusetts,
Uh huh.
and I have to catch a specific train. It's a single stack, so it's going through a small tunnel, and that one's the one that's going to Chicago. And from Chicago, I have to change train, and that's fine. Everything works out. I get there in 24 hours. Everything's fine. And then from Chicago, have to change trains again in Minneapolis. This is where shit gets fucked up. So I'm changing trains in Minneapolis, and the Minneapolis is a twin city. There's St. Paul and Minneapolis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the train slows down in St. Paul. And I'm like, nah, I'm too lazy to walk all the way over across two cities to get to where I need to go. So I decide to stay on the train. And it goes through St. Paul, and then it goes through Minneapolis, and it keeps going. So I'm like, oh man, I gotta get off. So I jump off the train, and I like fall, and I fuck up my back really hard, and I had to call the ambulance. And
Damn.
so, yeah, so it's okay. I'm like walking and everything, but called the ambulance. They took me to the hospital, and they gave me some medicine, like some Vicodins,
Uh
just
huh.
to like deal with the pain.
Yeah.
And everything was cool. They let me go, and I was all messed up from the Vicodins. But I go to the train yard that I'm supposed to go to in Minneapolis. I find a spot to sleep, and I go to sleep. And I wake up, and it's early morning, like the sun is just coming up. And you know how like the light from the sun is orange when it's coming up or when it's going down, you know, like
Yeah.
a sunrise type of deal.
Uh
So
huh.
I look at the train, and I think it's orange. That's the train I need. The Bienville Santa Fe train goes all the way to Seattle.
Yeah.
So, so that's the train I need. I jump on that train. I'm good to go. Go back to sleep. Right. Wake up, and I should be like in the Rocky Mountains by the time I wake up. But it's still like the Great Plains. I'm looking around. Something's wrong. Like
These
it's
Rocky
colder.
Mountains. What?
Yeah,
I'm
like
thinking
where?
about Dumb and Dumber. Where he said, "Man, these Rocky Mountains sure are rocky," and they didn't know what
Oh
it means.
yeah.
Rocky Mountains.
No, I'm like something's wrong, man. I'm like something's definitely wrong. It's colder than it should be.
Oh
Like it's
my
just like
god.
all weird. I seriously I look over like there's like an elk like
An
looking up at
elk?
me like I'm way out. I'm
Oh
way out.
fuck.
So for your audience, I'm in Canada. Turns out I'm in Canada.
Oh my
I
god.
go all the way to Canada, but I go so far north that I
Uh-huh.
can't just like walk back or hitch back. I'm like 500 miles north in Canada. So I'm on this train. I just gotta go. It's going too fast to jump off. I just gotta go until it stops. So it stops in like this truck stop town called Moose Jaw, Canada, in Saskatchewan.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I had like a cheap little flip phone at the time,
Uh-huh.
and I check it and it's like roaming, so I can't call anybody because I don't have roaming charges or something. And but I have a GPS on there and tells me like I'm so far north in Canada. So I go to the police station and I'm like, this is what happened. What do I do? And the police guy is like, listen, man,
So
you're
you
so
told him.
far north.
You told him
Yeah,
you were
no,
on the
I
train. You
straight up.
anything.
Yeah, I felt like it was an honest mistake, you know, honest-ish. It was
Yeah.
an honest. It was a mistake. So I was like, I don't mean to be here. This is what happened. He's like, man, I've never even met an American, you know.
Oh
He
my
starts.
god.
Yeah, it's like that. He's like, look, I can't personally bring you home, but I can call immigration and we can get you deported. And so he brings me to a cell. This is like a jail cell in a small sheriff's type of office, like a tiny little place.
Uh-huh.
and he lets me lay on the bed. He leaves the door open. He's cool. And then I fall asleep again. This time I'm like stressed. And these two guys come in, and you swear it's a movie. Like, they both have like bulletproof vests on. They've got their badges around their neck,
Uh-huh.
like on the chain. One dude's got like the sunglasses and the mustache. The other dude's like a big jack dude. And they're like, "We're taking you in, boy." They take me in their SUV and they're driving me somewhere. They don't tell me yet. And they're like, "You're a drug dealer. We know you're a drug dealer." And I'm like, "I'm not a drug dealer. Swear to God." They're convinced. They're dead set on like getting some sort of confession out of me being a drug dealer. I ain't done nothing more than smoke some pot, you know?
Yeah.
So it gets like that, and they're telling me it's impossible for me to come up this far without, being on, trying to get some business done or anything like that.
Yeah.
And eventually they take me further north, 200 miles further north. So now I'm 700 miles north of the
Holy
border.
shit.
To the capital of Saskatchewan, which is a city with a funny name, Regina. I swear to God, you look at the name of this town, you want to say Regina, but the town is pronounced Regina.
Oh,
and
shit.
Here's another thing for the viewers. So in America, if you get locked up like in a small town, they'll bring you to the town department, right? There's a jail cell in there.
Yeah, little precinct.
And then before court, well, this is for the audience, you know this shit. And before court, or while you're waiting for court, they'll bring you to a county house of corrections, right? And then if you do a felony or something, they'll bring you to prison. So there's sort of 3 levels, but they don't have that in Canada. This is why I said this. They don't have that in Canada. They got prison. That's it. They got the police station.
Holy shit.
They got prison.
I remember one of my guests telling me about that, but that's crazy to think,
Yeah. So I go to prison. I'm going to prison.
Straight penitentiary bound, man.
Yeah,
that's bro. Crazy.
Now it's not max. It's a minimum and
it's still
medium. But it's
still
prison. Now I've been to county for stupid shit for like 22 days instead of paying the courts. So I kind of had an idea what to expect, as far as culture, like rules, but I did not expect there to be straight up 100% Native Americans in there. No black people, no Latinos, like nobody I'm from a city, nobody I could get down with,
Oh, so it's like, so there was not many white guys in there either?
No, there's like 5. It's like
God.
It's like 94% Native Americans.
That's wild. I mean, so
I know.
You're not fitting in?
Well, it's a little bit worse than that, because the reason why Native Americans are all in Canada is because the U.S. Americans killed them, their ancestors.
Yeah, so they had some bad blood there, huh?
They forget that shit, bro. They forget that.
Yeah.
They were damn quick to remind me that I was an American.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, now, it wasn't no violence or nothing, but there was like, you are an island. You are by yourself. You ain't have no help here. I had like the cellie. He was like a drunk, right? Super drunk guy. He's like been drunk so many times. He's done. He's in prison now.
Yeah.
And then it was me, and then like straight up murderers, gangsters and shit. I'm not hard, dude.
And they had this stuff in a low level? They had guys like that in low level?
Yeah, they had some murderers up in there. Yeah.
Damn.
People wait in court and all sorts of shit. People on, what's it called?
Oh, yeah, so there's no jail, so they're waiting for court as well in prison.
All sorts of people, yeah. Everybody.
I didn't even think about that. Damn. So how was the food? I mean, how was the food? Let me ask you that really quick. How was that food?
Exactly the same.
Really?
Like fucking Aramark or whatever.
I would have thought they had like some maple
They
syrup
did have a
pancakes.
television. I had straight cable, bro. I was watching cable all day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was watching cable. I was watching like NCIS and all that shit.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, it was alright. They gave everybody a television.
They give everyone one?
Well, I mean, per cell. Yeah, in your cell.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah, that was the only dope thing that was very different from like the other place I've been. The prison yard was wicked small. It was like basically a room with no ceiling.
Okay.
You know, like it was
Yeah.
outside. It was like four solid walls, barbed wire on top. It was super small, basically the size of a half court basketball court. And that's it.
They have nothing in it. No, just walk around in circles in there.
There was a basketball hoop in there, and that's
Oh,
it.
okay. Okay. Well, that's all right.
There was a separate room for with like the Nautilus, like the gym equipment. You know,
Okay.
that was like separate, and that's it. They didn't pod anybody off when you first get there. They didn't like separate anybody. You would just general pop right away. Uh, processing was the same, exactly the same. They told me, so this was a Monday. Okay,
Uh-huh.
this is where shit gets a little dark. This was a Monday. They said, oh, we'll probably have you out by Wednesday, right?
Uh-huh.
Like that Friday rolls around, and then the next Friday rolls around, and then that's set. So 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks in, that Saturday, I'm like, what the fuck? Like nobody's talking to me. See, in America, I have a lawyer, I have representation stuff, but I was there legally. I had nobody. I had the ambassador to America who was in a different province, like thousands of miles away, and that's it. I had no representation. I had nobody in my corner making sure I was out, like making sure everything happened fast. Nothing. Nobody was talking to me, and so I was going really stir crazy, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like for all I knew, they forgot about me. I was gone, right?
I mean, they
So
didn't give you no charges or anything like that. They said you were gonna be leaving soon. What? They were just waiting for someone to pick you up, or what?
illegal illegal entry into Canada was the only charge. So that Saturday, this is the second Saturday I'm in there, right?
Uh huh.
After they said I wouldn't even make it there by one Saturday, I'm like, yo, somebody's got to talk to me. Like I got to do something. So I start talking about like hurting myself to the guards,
Oh yeah. Okay.
right?
Okay.
I'm like, yo, maybe I can get out of here. Like, or maybe
A
I can
little
just talk to
faster.
somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they sent me to the nurse, and the nurse is like, all right, I'll let you make a phone call. So I call somebody. Yeah, it was cool.
It worked out.
And yeah, and then I was out that following Tuesday. So that dark part didn't last too long.
Yeah. It
We're
actually
good.
brought a little light.
It
Family
did. It did. It
Friday.
helped me out, but I don't recommend it to anybody.
Hold,
You
hold, hold,
know.
dude. Hold, hold, hold.
Got it. I
I
heard it.
think I did.
I
I
heard
think I
death.
did.
I just heard death in that.
Let me double check. I think I did. We'll find out, won't we? God, I hope I did. My fault. All right.
So I get out on a Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
right? And of course, they're not just gonna let me out and like let me walk free. They're kicking me out of the whole country. So the big dude, remember how I mentioned there was a guy with a mustache who
Yeah.
arrested me, and then there was a big dude. The big dude is the guy who picked me up with some other partner, and they drive me 700 miles straight south. They don't drive me home. They drop me off at the border.
Uh huh.
They just drop me off at the border at this place called Portal, North Dakota.
Portal,
And
North Dakota.
yeah, Portal, North Dakota is basically another truck stop type place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and there's customs in there, customs office, like a desk for Canada and a desk for the United States.
Yeah.
So I go to the U.S. stuff.
Uh
And I'm
huh.
like, hey man, what do I do now? And they're like, well, there's no other way out of here. You might as well hitchhike. So I start thumbing it, right? I'm walking like maybe 3 miles down from the customs place, so I'm not like interfering with traffic, and I start thumbing it. About 15 minutes into me thumbing it, a sheriff's deputy pulls up,
Oh shit.
and he arrests me because it's illegal to hitchhike in Portal, North Dakota.
He
So
arrested you?
he arrested me.
He
Well,
just
first, all right. Well, first he was like, "All right, I'm gonna drive you to a place where you can hitchhike." But then I'm in the car. The deputies, he's a deputy. The sheriff gets on the radio and is like, "Arrest that man." So this dude is like 19. I'm in my 20s. I felt bad for him. He felt embarrassed. So he like pulled over. He's like, "Sorry, I have to do this." He puts the cuffs on, nice and loose. He brings me to the sheriff's office, and the sheriff is like, something about, "Did you have your foot over the line, the white line on the side of the road?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe." He's like, "You're arrested." So
what?
yeah, because it was
North
like some
Dakota.
North
Holy
Dakota.
shit! Never going there.
Yeah, it was messed up. Well, it's beautiful.
Oh, it
You should.
is. Well, then I
Yeah.
might have to. Was definitely going to ask you that question. What was one of your some beautiful states you've seen?
The western part of North Dakota, there's this Teddy Roosevelt National Park. It's beautiful. You have to go
Teddy
before
Roosevelt
you die.
National Park. I might have to do
Yeah.
that.
This
So,
place called the Badlands. Buffalo everywhere, man.
oh,
Buffalo everywhere, bro.
wild buffalo?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know
You
there was
have to
still
go.
wild buffalo out there, man.
I didn't know either. I'm a city boy.
Oh,
I'm from the east.
shit.
Yeah, man.
That's wild.
Buffalo.
That's cool
Well,
as hell,
bison.
man.
They're
Bison.
They're
Yeah,
bison. Yeah.
bison. And they're buffalo.
Well,
Fuck it.
fuck it. We're the Buffalo Brown, bro.
So they lock your ass up for crossing the white line hitchhiking.
Yeah. So okay, so this is what happened. So we looked up in a book, and I guess like in the Great Depression, they had a law against like hobos coming through there, and it was like a technicality. This law was from 1932 that he got me on. So they put me in a jail cell, and this jail cell is the funniest jail cell I've ever been in. This place, they put me in the black and white stripes, like a costume.
like a movie skit, huh?
Yeah. I damn thought I was gonna get the ball and chain. The cell was the bars on like it was like a western, like a movie, like a cowboy movie. It
Yeah.
was like rock walls with bars on the windows and everything. I was only there for 24 hours. They put me in front of a phone conference with a judge in a different county because they didn't have no judge, and they said,
Holy
I
shit.
the judge was like, "I ain't never heard of this law. That'll be $350, and then you could go." And I was like, "All right, bud, sure." And I
That's
got the hell out of North
crazy,
Dakota.
man. They just want to get a little bit of scratch up off you before you left. That was probably the most action they had in years.
Oh yeah, for sure. There was a couple other people in there, but they were sort of good old boys that were from town. Everybody knew them, like some drunk drivers or whatnot. I was the only like exotic thing.
Exotic.
I was exotic. Yeah, but then I had a lot of good luck after that. I ended
Okay.
up seeing a double rainbow right after that. In the rain, and then this dude picked me up like immediately after that, brought me over to the magic double rainbow. I know.
I've seen a
And
couple
then
of them.
I only seen one, and that was it. But as soon as I saw it, this dude picked me up, brought me all the way. He brought me a little bit further east to the city called Minot, North Dakota, which was a great place to hop a train. This dude that ran a head shop gave me all new gear because I lost all my gear. So I had like a brand new sleeping bag, brand new it's like a army rucksack, one of them big ass bags that you
Yeah.
see.
I mean, how'd you go about getting him to get you that stuff? See, that's the type of stuff
I
I
have
like
no-
to hear.
That was magic. So that was completely. I just walked in. I told him my story. He said, "You know what? Train hoppers come in here through in here all the time, and I probably have some stuff in back." And he just assembled some stuff, and he put it together. And I felt so good about that I ended up staying in Minot for about a week because there was a flood there right before I got there, and I already had some carpentry skills, so I earned like a couple $100,
Damn.
and then I just hopped my freight train ass back to California, kept going. I felt like I was halfway out there, might as well keep going, So
This
I
shit
got out
sounds
there.
so exhilarating to me, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't hop anymore because of my back, but I definitely recommend it. Was your
Huckleberry back really messed up from that fall still?
Yeah. I ended up getting a compression fracture in my back.
Oh,
I
fuck.
lost like half an inch of height.
How
Yeah,
fast was that thing going? Probably about
so
30, 40?
trains go like 3 or 4 different speeds. They're programmed. There's like a 5 mile an hour one, and that's the one where you want to jump on and off if you're doing it on the fly, which is the only way I hop. If you get the crew change, you don't have to go on the fly. You can sneak into the yard and know what train you want to get, and it's stopped. And then you just like make a little camp in the train where nobody could see you. So, but I hopped on the fly. I didn't use a crew change. I was very reckless. Went by myself. Did all like the things that nobody does. Uh, I don't know. It's got good and bad qualities to it. The way I went.
Yeah.
But yeah. But
They have three
where
speeds, you said?
yeah, three. Thank you. Three
Yep.
speeds. So it's five. I think it's like 15 and then 45. And
Damn.
I jumped off when it was at 15.
Okay.
There's other things like the trains always stop sometimes when you get to a double track in the middle of nowhere, right? The train will just stop for like 9 hours straight. And if you don't have water or anything, you could die, especially if you're out in the desert.
Oh, what do they just wait for like the conductor to hit some button or something somewhere for it to start moving
Oh,
again?
what's going on is you're at a double track more often than not, and they're waiting for the other train to come by,
Oh, okay.
and that could take hours. And sometimes they'll go. The people inside, the engineers, will sleep.
Yeah.
So it could be up to like 9 hours where you're just stopped in the middle of nowhere. And I've heard of people dying out in the desert just by being in the train and getting
Yeah.
baked.
I've
You know,
heard of
not enough water.
a lot of stories about situations like that, man. I can't even imagine
Oh yeah, man.
that.
There's crazy stories that I've heard. I met a kid with a missing leg because his dog jumped off the train. Some people take their dogs for some reason. They take all sorts of pets. This dude took his dog, and his dog jumped off the train while it was moving, and he jumped off too, and he ended up getting caught or something, and he lost a leg.
Cause see, I worked at a plastic recycling factory, and they used to have trains that came in all the time, and I would see some guys hop off, right? But
Uh,
they were like there was I don't know where they could have been on the train, man, because none of them you could get in them. You know what I mean?
okay, yeah, yeah. So
So
there's
were they on the roof or what?
no, there's a kind of train. There's a kind of car called a grainer. Stores grain, right?
Uh huh.
And then there's another kind called a tanker. A lot of them also have grainers, which are sort of shaped like this, but also a big tank, and they store dry goods.
Yeah.
And underneath on this side and on this side is like a little porch, right?
Yeah.
It's outside, and you could just lay down flat.
That's
Nobody
a
can see you.
small little area, though, man.
It's not that bad, man. I've spent a whole day like that.
I feel like I'd roll off if I was sleeping, you know?
Well, on the tankers, it's there's another kind that's called suicide, and that's crazy. Have you ever seen like the ones that hold cars, like they're yellow
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
aluminum. There's aluminum siding, but it's
Uh huh.
yellow mostly, and you can sit on the edge of those, and your feet are basically right over the tracks, and that one's called suicide. That nobody wants to do that unless you're crazy.
Yeah.
There's some real pros out there, man. There's some like I am not even close to being like a pro compared to some of these people. I know people that like just go to from I don't know New Orleans, which is where I met most of my train hopping friends. They'll go to San Diego and on a whim. They'll be there like in 2 days. They're so good at train hopping. It's like hopping the subway.
Yeah.
Like it's a crazy culture. Lots of drugs, a lot of hard drugs too. A lot of heroin addicts are
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy drinkers are out there. But then again, a lot of these people who are hopping trains are either running away from something, you know, and that's how they got into it, or they just living like this very rough life in general because that's just the culture how it is, you know. They're trying to whether they're trying to fit in or it's really part of their personality. It's a rough culture, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it is. It beats you down, man. You know?
Well, and there's just some rough personalities there, man. A lot of abused kids, like they're the ones that are train hoppers, running away from home,
Yeah.
stuff like that. A lot of
You
foster kids.
ain't gonna find too many picture perfect people train hopping, I guess, you know?
No, that's true. Not ones that survive, at least. A lot of death too.
Yeah. I mean, what was some of the if you had do you have any like a memorable crazy moment that you remember from your adventures?
I remember going to a rainbow festival in Ocala, California. Do you know what a rainbow festival is? Have you ever heard of this? The rainbow
No.
festival is a
I'm
hippie.
maybe.
So think of like a big music festival with camping and all that stuff, like out in the woods,
Yeah,
and then
like a
take away
fish
all the
concert or something.
yeah, but out in the woods, deep out in the woods, and then take away all the concerts. So it's just people camping in like
Whoa.
yeah, but they're all hippies. They come from all around, and they set up these different camps. So this was in Ocala National Park in Florida, and
Oh shit, Florida.
yeah, oh yeah, Florida. This is the only rainbow festival that you can drink at. Okay, this is
Uh-huh.
because it's the South, right? It's good old South. You can drink.
Yeah.
So, so all these hippies come from all around, mostly from the southeast, and they form these different camps, like different themes. Like there's one called Iris, and they mostly serve like crazy like Asian food, like a lot of Thai food they'll make. And then there's this one camp called the Fat Boys. Yeah, there's a lot of food involved.
Oh
There's
man, I'm starving too.
yeah,
Um,
there's one
keep
there's
going.
one camp called the Fat Boys, and they just go to every other camp and they borrow stuff and then they bring it back and they deep fry it. Candy bars, anything, they deep fry it all.
What?
Yeah, and then they'll you can come over to the camp like when they're done, like after dinner or whatever, and they'll serve it up. Tons of deep fried stuff. There was this one camp that I liked because they were from Maine, and me being from Massachusetts, it was like we were similar. They were called Bare Necessities, and this one dude was like this old hippie, and his name was Baloo, and he
Baloo.
would he dressed in a big bear suit, and he served pancakes at midnight every like Saturday night. The other thing about this is that it's not too far away from from a bombing range for like Air Force or something, and so you hear these distant like
Oh.
dogfights going on. Once in a while you hear woo, you see like an explosion off in the distance, and then you hear the whole woods because it's the South again.
They gotta be
So they go,
tripping in them
woo!
woods,
Yeah,
man.
no, it's crazy. They love it.
I know that damn thing was fun as hell. You know what I mean? I would
Oh
have had a
yeah,
blast, man. You
oh
know?
yeah. They only found one dead body.
Only one. Did you ever get into like try any new psychedelic drugs doing that whole train hopping thing?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
did you
yeah.
have any
No,
wild
I did
experiences?
psychedelics. I
Yeah.
did psychedelics.
How
I
was your
smoked
first
some
time?
DMT. My first time was actually here at Worcester, so it was pretty normal, I guess. Lots of visuals. I did a lot of mushrooms uh, up here before I ever started train hopping, so I was like pretty seasoned.
Oh,
And
okay.
New Orleans, I don't know if you've ever been there, but that
Mm-mm.
is a drug town, man.
Oh
Pretty
shit.
easy to get anything you want there. It's a pretty
Right.
crazy town,
Yeah.
especially if you live there and you know people.
Mm-hmm.
So just doing a lot of mushrooms down there too. I think that kind of helped me in my train hopping. It kind of freed me up, made me less reserved. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal. A lot of people, especially on the East Coast, are a little bit more uptight, I think, than they
Really?
are on the other side. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
yeah.
ask you, man. Like, what is like probably your favorite state or favorite town or type of people? Like, what area?
Well, see, I found value in seeing how everybody's different. Like going to Montana. Okay, so I'm from Massachusetts, and we're sort of a brainy type of. We think we know it all, right? We got
Mm-hmm.
everything around us. We don't have to go nowhere. Grocery stores within a few blocks of almost anybody's home. There's just not a lot of. It's easy going. We're out of touch with the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the country. I feel. We're almost gonna get political here. I'll try not to go there, but going to like a place like Montana
Mm-hmm.
has made me realize that like Montana people know what's best for Montana. You know, people in Virginia know what's best for Virginia.
Yeah.
People in Massachusetts only know what's best for Massachusetts. And
Yeah.
feel like I feel like I'm from a place where we kind of think we know what's best for everyone, and so that has broken down. You
Yeah.
know, I'm kind of more like
Bigger world out
allow
there, huh?
yeah, and I'm allowing people. I'm more of allowing people to be themselves than I think a lot of people, like my neighbors, in my immediate area, are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as far as my favorite place to go to be, it's probably New Orleans. I lived there for 6 years for a reason.
Oh
The
yeah, you did
music,
say that, didn't you? Yeah.
yeah, the music was amazing. The food, you gotta go there, man. The
Yeah.
food, the
Yeah. That was
music.
if there was one thing that definitely has been drawing me over there is definitely the food.
If I if
God,
I could give you, oh, the food is
it
amazing.
looks amazing, man. Every time I see stuff from out there.
When I came back to New England, everything tasted bland. Still does. I can't eat fried chicken up here.
Oh shit, that's how seasoned it is, huh?
It's so good down there. It's so
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that sounds
Yeah.
good, man. Well, you
I'll tell
said,
you.
go
I
ahead.
was gonna tell you one piece of advice. If you go to New Orleans, this is for everyone. If they
Mm-hmm.
go to New Orleans just to visit, the first time there, drink during the day. It's one of the greatest places I've ever been to day drink, and then go to your hotel at night. There's a lot of hustling out there at night.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
so you're saying
I
it's a little
mean,
dangerous out there at night?
it's a little dangerous out there last night. At night. I worked at a bar on Bourbon Street, which is pretty, populous. A
Popular,
lot of
yeah,
people are there, and so there's a lot of cops there and stuff,
yeah.
dude.
Uh huh.
One of the times I left to come back up here, one of the last times I left to come up here, there was a shooting right outside of my bar, and it hit 9 random people, and
Dang.
like that was it. Yeah, that was broad daylight. So it's dangerous there, but at night, like, there's people looking for drunk people. There's people like locals looking for drunk tourists.
Yeah, trying to rob them, get something off them.
Whatever, just yeah, whatever happens.
You know,
People disappear all the
there's
time.
a lot of shit going on out there. Right? A lot of voodoo and all kinds of shit jumping out there.
Oh
So you can
yeah,
only
I
imagine what
heard
kind of evil things lurking. You know,
I
lurking.
heard of, I heard of people getting in cabs and just disappearing
Yeah, yeah,
because the cab people are like not real cab people,
yeah. They
like
might just want
off
them for their bones.
or yeah, there's just some messed up dude that happened to buy a cab and now he's out there kidnap
Yeah,
people and
that's
do
what he
some
does.
crazy
That's his
shit.
thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? God, can you
He,
imagine? I think about that all the time, like, because there's tons of unsolved disappearances and murders. I mean,
oh yeah,
you know
what
that
about that
more than
dude?
I do, probably, but
Oh,
just
I've seen some fucked up shit. I was assaulted once by a guy who I think was a serial killer. He was
really.
smoking meth and shit. He
Uh
he
huh.
had a knife to my face. He almost cut my face off. This was in Texas. One time I was leaving and I was trying to get to Dallas to hop a different freight train, and I was in what the fuck? It's like Shelburnham or something. In it's like one of the last big towns in Louisiana
Uh huh.
before you hit Texas. And so I'm out there, and I'm at a truck stop, and I see this dude, and he kind of looks like some country singer. I don't know. And so I'm like, all right, he's a cool guy. So I'm like, hey, are you going towards Dallas? Can you take me at least into Texas? He's like, yeah, sure. So he's driving, and he's like, hey, you care if I smoke? And I thought he meant a cigarette or weed, and he starts freebasing meth, like freebasing. So he's like almost not using the steering wheel when he drives. He's using his knees. He's got the straw and the fucking like aluminum foil,
Yeah.
and he's freebasing, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, holy
Hey,
shit.
they call that shit chasing the dragon too, right?
No, I thought chasing the dragon is when you're shooting up heroin and you're trying
Okay,
to
maybe
get.
it is. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure chasing the dragon is trying to get that high that you first get when you first shoot heroin, and you never get it again. But chase that dragon.
You know why I thought that? That's always why I thought it was called chasing the dragon, because the smoke looks like a dragon kind of when it comes up, so you're like trying to
That's
chase
ridiculous.
it.
Yeah, no,
That's
that
why.
makes sense. That's ridiculous. That's so crazy.
That's what I've always thought, man.
That's cool. Hey, man, you can call it chasing the dragon.
Yeah, it's gonna stay like that forever. That's what it is.
That's right. Or like, I don't know.
That's
Anyways,
crazy, man. Okay.
when you open a beer and it flies open because it's all foamy and
Chase
stuff.
the dragon, man. Hey, that's funny, dude. You know, I mean, that's what I thought. I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure it's trying to chase your first high.
yeah, it might be. It might be, man. It might be.
I've been around a lot of heroin addicts, and I think that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I only done some powder, some E. That's about it. I ain't even done no DMT. I ain't tried none of that crazy shit.
DMT is crazy, man. DMT, I think it lasts super quick. It's like so quick.
Oh, it's quick.
It's super quick. I mean, it's intense, but it's quick. It's a super fine powder, right? Super duper fine. Like you breathe on it, and it's gone. Super duper fine powder. You put it in a weed bowl or something. I put it directly on top of weed, and I smoked it. And I had very intense visuals, and like I felt like I went to like a different dimension, like Alice in Wonderland type of shit. But then almost as soon as it started, it was over. I almost felt like I was drug. Like the dude that gave it to me did it as a favor because the weed he gave me in college was kind of like bad. So he's like, "Here, I'll put this on it, and maybe you'll feel better." And I thought he was gonna fuck me like or something. It was like really fucked up. But then it was over, and it was cool. It was really cool, and I felt good. It was clean. Do you know what DMT is? It's if you take a plant, certain plants, and you boil down the root to like nothing, and then you take all the water and you boil all the water away. It's usually like a DMT. It's a very natural substance.
Oh wow.
Yeah. In
Never
fact,
knew
it's already naturally in your brain.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I thought they'd just get it out of people's brains or something.
Every time you're falling asleep and you trip out a little bit, that's a DMT trip.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I've read a little bit into it, but I've never knew the root part. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's a naturally occurring thing, and I don't think, at least in the small amount that I don't think it does much damage to your system. A lot of rich people microdose and stuff, like super duper rich people, and like they be dosing themselves all day. It got to be like in the paper.
What do you mean by dose?
Yeah. They take microdoses of DMT or very
stay
pure
tripping
LSD.
all day.
Yeah, and it's microdosing, so they're not like seeing visuals, but it keeps them like, I don't know, open-minded and energetic and shit.
In the Matrix.
Dude, it's like, yeah, it's kind of.
Well, look, you've seen. We've been going for an hour. You told me a lot of your stories. Very entertaining, man. This hour went by rather quickly, to say the least. But look, if there's anything that you learned out there, man, traveling from east, north, south, and west, seeing all these towns and all these people, what's a little bit of information you can give to someone out there, man?
Oh, the best advice I could give to anybody is never judge a dude or a girl by the way they look. I mean, they could be coming from some hard times and be looking fine, or they could be doing really well for themselves and look like shit. Also, people could be really nice and look like they're hard. I think you should just have a really open heart when you're traveling out there. I mean, these are tough times. It's refreshing to have a really open heart. Bad things are going to happen to you no matter what. So you might as well just keep your heart open to all the good shit too.
Well, man, you got any kind of shout outs or anything you'd like to say before we dip out?
I'm just going to shout out to everybody, all of our audience, man. I'm one of you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I was about to say that too. He's a viewer, and he's been viewing my content for a while.
Long time viewer.
And now you're a part of the channel, my friend. You'll be here as long as YouTube is or as long as my channel is. And,
hell yeah, man.
I thank you, man, for telling a little bit of your story. And, everything's going good in your life now, right?
Oh, yeah. I settled down with a girl I knew from high school. She got 2 kids, so now I'm stepdadding them.
Oh, stepdaddy. Ain't nothing wrong with that, my friend. Now they got a damn famous stepdaddy.
Oh, maybe. Hey, come down to Worcester. I'm a bartender.
Hey, I know that's right, man. Hey, you take care, man. You have a good rest of your, what is it, Monday today?